Hey, Lucy.
Hey.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited because ever since, when we met, I don't know if you were doing content full time.
No.
When we first met. Yeah, because I think I remember talking to you and you're like, I quit my job and like doing this full time.
I think we met when I was still working like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I invited you to the influencer event that I was hosting.
Wait, yeah. What event was that?
For Diff Eyewear at Planta.
Yes.
Like
okay.
way back.
That is how we met. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I didn't even remember that you were like the person hosting it. I thought you were just another like influencer.
No. I was like planning that.
That was there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were planning events like even for your corporate job.
That was the first event I'd ever like executed on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Lucy lives in Miami. And she is a health and wellness creator, but I think you're so much more than that. Like, I feel like that's like a side of what you do.
Yeah.
But she hosts amazing wellness events here in Miami. And now, like, it's going beyond Miami too, right?
Yes.
Which is so exciting. So she hosts really cool events. It's high vibe wellness and then coffee and chill.
Yes.
And they are blowing up in Miami. Like, it's honestly insane because I always think, well, you know, the stereotype is that like Miami is just like a party place and
100%. Yeah.
drinking and all of this like really unhealthy habits, like I would say, and you're just like proving the opposite.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why it started. You know, I feel like there's just not a shortage of drinking, and even the workout events, like sometimes there's drinks after. And to me, I'm just like, that doesn't really align.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's actually crazy. Yeah. I've seen like wine and yoga and I'm like, why?
Why? It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, in Miami, everything is like well, not everything, but there's a lot of like party vibes here, and like you said, there's no shortage of it.
Yeah, exactly.
When you first moved here 3 years ago, I think
3
we moved here
years,
at the same time ish. Yeah. So
like post-COVID time.
Yes. Why did you make the move to Miami, and where did you move from?
So I was living in New York when COVID happened, and then my boyfriend's from Ireland, and we were living in this crazy tiny studio with one window in New York, and we were like, we got to get out of here. Like, you know, it was just such an uncertain time. Yeah. So we actually went to Ireland. Long story, got stuck in Europe for about a year.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
It was, in hindsight, like an amazing experience. And I've had a very privileged COVID. Like it was, you know, really, really cushy. It was amazing. But our apartment in New York expired, like the lease while we were there. So we had everything moved to storage. So we got rid of like the New York apartment. We stayed in Europe between Ireland and Spain for a full year. And then when we were moving back to the US, it was like, why would we go back to New York? It was weird after COVID. I graduated in 2020 online from college, and his job went fully remote. So it was like, there was no reason to go back anymore. Which was kind of sad because I thought I would be there forever, but we were like, okay, we want a big city. It was like New York, LA, Austin, Miami. That was the contenders. And then LA just felt far. It was also weird after COVID. Austin's landlocked. And so we were like, okay, Miami. Like I'd been here one day in my entire life. We signed a lease online and then just moved here.
You didn't even like see the place?
No.
So you didn't even know like the neighborhoods or anything?
No.
Oh my gosh. What neighborhood did you move to?
We were like downtown edge of Brickell.
Okay, so not
it
a
was
bad
fine.
area.
I mean, I like did a little research. I was like, that seems like a safe bet. But now we're in Edgewater, which is like much nicer.
Yeah. Wait, I had no idea that you were stuck in Europe for a year.
Like stuck-ish. I mean, we couldn't. For a while, we really couldn't come back. And then there was a point where like we probably could have, but we were like, why would we?
Yeah.
I mean, we were just working online and doing our thing over there. And it was kind of a nice break after college.
Yeah. Did you go to school in New York? Like you went to college in New York?
I went to Parsons School of Design.
Oh, I didn't know that. What did you study there?
I studied strategic design and management, which is like a fancy business degree, basically. It's really geared towards like the creative industries, really project-based, no testing, very hands-on, small classes. It really great education. Yeah.
Were you planning on working like in a more creative field after that? Did you want to start your own business? Were you going to do your own thing? Like what was kind of your plan when you first graduated?
I think that I always kind of thought I would do my own thing. Like in the back of my head, I had no idea what that was going to look like, but I always wanted that. I did an event planning internship in college that I hated, and I wrote it off. I was like, I'm never going to do events. Like, nope, not for me, which that's like a great learning lesson. Like you can't just write something off one experience. I mean, it was like luxury weddings and like corporate events, which is very different than what I do now. But I just was like, that's not it. So then the first job I had, the one that we met through, was like a 9 to 5 in e-com, working influencer marketing. And it just, it was a good job, but it just didn't fulfill me. And I just craved more. So I kind of think I always knew I'd be an entrepreneur, but I just didn't really know what that meant at the time.
Yeah. And when you graduated college, you got the job was it straight to Diff Eyewear?
Yeah.
And then you were like working remotely in Europe. Were you working remotely there?
Yeah, I got the job like right after I moved to Miami. I was like, okay, better get a job. I have real expenses and I'm an adult now. So
got it.
Yeah. So then I started that job here. I was there for like, I think a year and a half. And then I quit with no plan.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you quit your job, because I know you were doing content at the time,
Yeah.
but it was definitely like smaller, I would say, right? When you were doing it.
Yeah.
Were you thinking I'm going to be a content creator full time and like I'm going to try to grow, or did you think like I'm going to use this time to figure out what I want to do?
It was a bit of both. I mean, I was definitely making money from social, and like it's been such a blessing, and it's a great, I recommend everyone be active on social. It opens up so many doors.
Totally.
I kind of think when I initially quit, I was like, I'm going to just get some freelance clients doing influencer marketing for brands, because I had a few already, and I was like, that's going well. Like I'll just kind of do that and then figure it out.
Yeah. And then when did you start realizing that you wanted more like health and wellness in Miami, and like what triggered you to be like, I'm going to do an event? Like, I feel like that's a big leap. Like I've hosted one event before. You came to it. And
I actually made one of my best friends there.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I love that. No, but I hosted that, and like, I can't even, host is a loose term because like I had so many people helping me, and like we partnered with another company and they really did like the heavy lifting with the planning.
Gotcha.
But I am like I hate planning. Like to me, that's like event planning is so hard. There's so many moving parts.
Yeah.
So how did you, I guess, like take the leap to like host your first one? Like what was the thought process?
Well, I think it comes pretty naturally to me. Like I'm a planner, I'm very type A, organized. Like I enjoy that kind of thing. I'm the friend in the group that hosts the parties and like plans the things.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of that, but it happened because I was in the health and wellness space anyway, like going to a lot of yoga classes. I had some connections there already. I was really close with a yoga teacher that I went to her classes all the time. And she kind of knew I was interested in like getting more involved in the industry here. And she said, what if I wasn't teaching yoga yet. So she was like, what if I teach yoga? I have a connection at the Aloe store, and like you can plan the event and like be the host. And I was like, yes. I mean, when somebody says like host an event at Aloe, you say yes. I was like, okay, we're going to do it. I had no name, no logo, no company, nothing. Like and I had like 2.5 weeks. So I said yes, I committed to it and made it happen, because that's what you do when you put pressure on yourself. And I think that it was such a good thing that I like made that commitment, because there would never been a good time to say, oh, I'm going to plan my first event. I could have put that off for years.
Yeah.
So I just ripped the Band-Aid off. I was like, came up with a random name, a logo that's now changed since then, and like just pulled it off. And then I was like, oh, I actually can do this. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Was that first event, the Aloe event, were you in charge of inviting people, getting the word out? Like, was it like completely yours and it was just like hosted with Aloe, or did you have help in other areas?
So I think it was around 30 people, and I was in charge of like selling the tickets, getting the sponsors, organizing, setting up the event, pretty much like all of the logistics and the marketing of it.
Oh my gosh. So like everything.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was only 30 people, so it wasn't too crazy. Like I didn't dive so in the deep end. Like it was, it felt manageable, and it was amazing. It sold out right away. And I was like, oh, like I really enjoy this. What if I kept going and doing more of that? And even at the 9 to 5 job, when I hosted the influencer event that I invited you to, I was like, I really enjoy this. Like maybe there's something here.
Yeah. What did you, like when you were planning that event and, it was a yoga event, were you already in the health and wellness space? Like, was that already something you were interested in, or was that kind of your first like dip into the health and wellness space here in Miami?
I would say that was like the first official thing that I put out myself. I was going to a lot of events, helping out a lot of events. I was going to a lot of yoga classes and kind of in that space anyway, but that was the first official thing that I did myself.
Yeah. But were you in like were you very into health and wellness with your content, or was that something that you were interested in, or it was kind of like yoga's cool, like let me try doing this?
Yeah, I was very into the health and wellness thing before that, like during COVID. I mean, it saved me during COVID, I think. And mostly for the mental health benefits. Like I got really into meditation and yoga during COVID and working out a lot. And I was always active, but then it like really took another level during COVID, and then it kind of continued. And that was how I was meeting people, because I don't drink. And it was like, where do you go? So I was going to the workout classes, the other wellness events in Miami, and like that's how I was making friends.
Yeah. And then when did you start High Vibe Wellness, and like what kicked it off? Like did you have like one big event or, to kick it off, or when did you realize like this is a company and I want to like continue hosting these events?
So it was pretty much the Aloe event that kicked it off.
Okay.
So I came up with the name, and the name stuck, but the logo's since changed, and like the branding has changed now. So that kicked it off. It went well. I enjoyed it. Most importantly, I think I just wanted to feel like I was doing something I cared about, which was really lacking at the 9-to-5 position. So once I felt like, okay, I can do this, I proved it to myself. I had a successful event. Then I kept going. I think I hosted 5 events between like September and December the first year, like the first couple months. And then it was like 30 plus events the first like full calendar year.
30 events? That's crazy. That's
I can't remember
many.
exactly. We've done like 50 now total over the last year and a half. Yeah.
How big are they? Are they like all really big, or are there some smaller events?
Some smaller. I would say 50 now is like the minimum we'll host, and then up to like 150. Most events are around the 100-person mark. We had one during Art Basel that went super viral on TikTok, and we had 1,200 people show up. It was on the beach, so we had like unlimited capacity, and it was we sold 1,200 spots.
Oh, 1,200
That's the power
people?
of social media. Like I'm telling you, like it's the best thing anyone could do, because that would have just never happened if I hadn't posted it.
Yeah. Okay. So teach me your tips on posting these things and making them, go viral and do well. I know virality is like also can be random.
Yeah, it feels like a shot in the dark sometimes.
What did you do to like get the word out for these events? Was it just posting TikToks like, hey, I'm in Miami. If you're interested in XYZ, come here, or like, how do you spread the word on social?
It was a lot through TikTok. I think TikTok's where I found new people, and then the most engaged people from TikTok would convert to the Instagram and then follow for updates. TikTok though, it's all about the hook. So if you scroll through my videos like quickly, you just hear in the first like 3 seconds, I always say Miami, because if you're in Miami, you want to watch things about what's happening here. And so I would talk a lot about being in Miami, if you're in Miami, if you need plans this weekend in Miami, like things like that. Mm-hmm. And then I shared a lot about making friends here. And when I first got here, and it was really hard to make friends, and I like hated it for the first year because I was so lonely, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so difficult. I cannot possibly be the only one experiencing this as an adult. So I started sharing about that, and I was like, these are all the things I'm trying to do to make friends. Like, this is why it's hard to make friends, talking about making friends without drinking. So I was like really kind of telling my own personal story. And then anyone who was looking for friends in Miami would really resonate with that content. And a lot of people were moving here when I moved here. Like there's a huge influx of new people.
I always say that when people ask about Miami and like making friends, I'm like, Miami is one of those places where there's so many people that just recently moved here.
Yes.
So people are actually really open to meet, and they're like, it doesn't feel cliquey, or at least to me, like it didn't feel cliquey moving here. It felt like people were willing to hang out and like make a new friend. And I felt like when I lived in New York, for example, I didn't feel that way. Like I felt New York was more established. I know there's always an influx of people moving to New York, but it just felt harder for me personally to like make friends there and like meet new people that didn't already have like their group, and it's like you're kind of like intruding in their group. Not to say you can't make friends, but it just felt clickier. And Miami felt more open and feels more open, I think.
New York is so much bigger too. I feel like everyone thinks like, oh, New York, Miami, LA, like they're just the big cities, but no, like New York is so much bigger.
Yeah.
I would never be out in New York and run into someone. Like here I run into people all the time in the park, at the grocery store. Like it's kind of a small town vibe. Like, so I think it's way easier to make friends because you see the same people at all the events, at all the workouts.
Yeah, that's so true. In New York, I always run into people at the most random times and random places, but it's not like my friends or like, it's not like I ever saw my neighbor like a bunch of times. No. You know, it was more just like, oh, I haven't seen you in 5 years. And I'm like running into you on the subway. Yeah. Like that sort of small city it felt like. But yeah, no, New York has so many people.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
like
many
8 million. Yeah. And Miami's like, I don't know, 500,000 like in inner Miami. So it's so much smaller.
Yeah, it really is. Especially if you live in like Brickell, downtown Edgewater, Midtown, like this side of Miami, it's like you run into people all the time. There's like one Trader Joe's that everyone goes to.
Yeah, literally. So true.
Yeah, so it is a lot smaller. And when you were like posting that content, being like, okay, making friends here, like, or if you want to make friends here, were you like, did you find people that were interested and you were like, okay, I should start an event and host something for these people, or you were already hosting the event and then you're like, wait, I'm like getting a lot of buzz and success, like which came first?
I think once I shared about, okay, struggling to make friends, here's what I'm trying and doing, then it kind of transitioned to like, here's all the things I'm checking out in Miami because I'm new here. So I was reviewing like a lot of restaurants. I was sharing a lot of other people's events. And then I would go to the events and see all these people who showed up from my TikTok and be like, oh my God, I came because I saw you posted about this. And then I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, so I saw that I could actually get people to come to events before they were my own, which is obviously way less risk. Right. And then from there, I was like, okay, like now I know that I can get people to show up. Let's host an event. Because I think it is intimidating to host an event and be like, what if no one comes?
Oh my God, I'd be yeah, that's always my fear of like doing anything. I'm like, wait, what if literally no one cares?
Right, exactly. And like there's a lot of cost and a lot of risk and you're putting yourself out there and it's like, if no one comes, like I'm so screwed.
Yeah, no, that's so true. But it worked out. And you guys had a great event. Were you shocked at like the Art Basel one, for example? Like, did you expect to sell 1,200 tickets or what was your expectation?
I mean, I definitely didn't expect it. It was one video and it didn't have like hundreds of thousands of views. I had like maybe 40,000 views. So like, it's just very targeted people. I mean, they're all in Miami. I was hoping, I thought maybe a couple hundred was like a realistic guess. Having over 1,000. Eventually, we actually shut off signups because we were like, I don't know if this is going to get out of hand. Like, we probably could have sold way more than that. But I was like, okay, 1,200 is good. I'm happy. Like, let's chill. So,
what was the event?
It was just a by donation yoga class on the beach. It was half Pilates and half yoga. So it was half taught by somebody else and then half taught by me. So Kelsey Rose did the first Pilates part and then I taught yoga. And that was it. There was some gifts from Aloe and like some little products, but it was very chill. Well, it was supposed to be very chill. And then we were like, okay, we need a sound system and a stage and it's Art Basel week and we have like 5 days and let's figure this out. Yeah. Because originally we were just going to like roll out a mat and call it a day.
Yeah. That's crazy. And is it just you or do you have people helping you? Do you have a team?
For High Vibe, it's just me. I mean, I rely greatly on my volunteers who help like day of the event. I could not do it without like some hands-on assistance, but behind the scenes, it's just me. And then for Coffee and Chill, which we can talk about, is a little bit more of a team. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really want to talk about Coffee and Chill and also the differentiation between like why you decided to start something new instead of just saying it's like an event under High Vibe, you know?
Right.
So Coffee and Chill is, I still haven't gone to one, which I really need to go. When's your next one?
This Saturday. Are you free?
Oh, this Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay. Saturday morning?
Yeah. 10 a.m. You're coming.
I will go.
Amazing.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes, that's going to be so good.
But I really I've been wanting to go, but it's a like cold plunge. You have coffee, you have cold plunges. People meet each other there. Like describe to the people that don't know, like what exactly Coffee and Chill is.
So Coffee and Chill, it's all about community and helping people make friends without drinking. So again, it's alcohol free. And it's really a 2-hour free flowing event, sort of networking, but sort of day party. Like it definitely has a high vibe, like exciting. We have a DJ, people are dancing, and it's just a free flowing 2-hour event. So you come, you take your cold plunge when you want, you grab your coffee when you want. We have different sponsors sponsors at every event. So if they're gifting or we have waters or other beverages, like you kind of just explore on your own terms and hang out and meet friends. And it's just like the perfect way to kick off the morning. It's 10 a.m.
I love that. I'm so excited to go. I'm going to report back and tell you guys how it went.
Clip in some clips of the event.
Yes, because I'm so excited. I've only done a cold plunge once and I loved it, but I just want it, like you said, for the community part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to meet people. I've been trying to put off this more like inviting energy out there and like
love it.
wanting to like just meet new people, not even for any specific reason, like not necessarily to like network so that I can find the right person for this or not. Like I'm single, but it's not necessarily just for like dating or anything like that. It's more just like I just want to like meet new people and be put more like inviting energy out, or like people approach me or I can like approach them or something.
Yeah, it's a super inclusive environment. It's like very welcoming. You have the natural high after you get out of the ice bath, like all that dopamine, so people are feeling like their best selves. You got the music, and like I'm not single, but everyone says it's an amazing place to meet like a significant other. Everyone's like, it's a dating app in real life. Like everyone's so hot. Like it's so funny. So it's really definitely giving that like, it's much more inclusive than most wellness events, I think, are very female forward, which High Vibe is. And like, there's a beautiful space for that. Like female energy, feminine energy is an amazing thing to cultivate for people. But there's also something really cool about seeing like all these guys show up. It's like very 50-50 men and women.
I've seen like the videos and it always surprises me at how many guys, because usually I feel like men are just like they're more shy to they don't really put themselves out there at,
they're
like,
not the ones
events.
who book the wellness events like normally, so it's really cool to see that happening.
How do you think you like attracted that? Like is it still like just like your TikTok algorithm that like targets them, or like are you intentional about making it feel more inclusive? Because there's a lot of events that are very targeted towards women, which is still great, but like I like that yours is more like everyone can go.
Well, that is part of the reason that it's not under High Vibe. Like in my mind, like I wanted this to be a place for more people, and High Vibe is so feminine. I also have a male co-founder, Eric Brown, and I think having like a male-female face to the company is definitely going to attract like more men. It doesn't feel so female forward. Also our content on social, like we really try to show like all types of people who are in all stages of their wellness journey, men, women, everyone, and show them that like this isn't a place just for women. And also like the design of the event, it's not very intimidating because yes, there's cold plunges, but like you get in on your own terms. It's not like super guided. It's more like a party. There's no workout class. There's no yoga class. It's like just come hang. And I feel like that's more approachable for a lot of people.
I know. I feel like I need to like bring a friend or something, because I'm like, I don't know if I can go completely solo,
but the thing is, you'll probably know people there. Everyone comes and they're like, oh my God, I ran into so many people I didn't know were coming this week. And like, it's crazy.
No, I'm so excited to come.
Okay, I'm so excited.
Where do you usually host it? Is it the same place every time?
No, so we pop up at different locations. We change a location about once a month. So we do 2 events at each location. This month we're at the Deca Island Gardens.
Oh, okay. Where is that on like the causeway?
Yeah, it's kind of like across from Joya Beach, like on the other side. Okay. We were at Joya Beach. We've done Fable, Reserve Paddle. So we kind of pop around and like keep it fun and fresh.
Fun. Yeah. Okay, I love it. And why did you decide to get a co-founder for this? Was it your idea? Did you find a co-founder? Did they approach you? Like, talk me through like the business side of starting this.
Totally. So my co-founder, Eric Brown, he came to an event, a High Vibe event about a year ago. And we'd been like connected since. He hosted a lot of small breathwork and ice bath events. I was hosting a lot of ice bath events for High Vibe, and every time I would do an ice bath event, there was like this extra added hype. Like people were just like, when can we do this again? When's the next one? Where can I access more ice baths? And in Miami, it's not like LA, like the market isn't as developed here. So there's not a lot of options. There's some pop-up events, and then there's very premium gym memberships like Anatomy, but there's kind of no in between. And like, most likely you're not going from doing one ice bath to buying a $10,000 ice bath for your house. So
not at all.
We both kind of saw this like market opportunity, and we were both following Coffee and Chill LA. So Coffee and Chill started in LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was started by 2 best friends there, literally in their backyard, converted chest freezer, at-home coffee machine. They just wanted to see their friends more often and without drinking. They started it. It was like so small, and then it blew up by posting about it on social. And now they have like a huge community, super established in LA. And both Eric and I had a mutual connection with the guys who started it, Blake and George, and we were connected and we explored the conversation. We were like, this would do so well in Miami. And so Miami was the first expansion city.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, wait, that's amazing. I love how like entrepreneurial you are and how like you just like I think what's inspiring is that you see something, you're like, wait, I can do that. And like you bring it here, where a lot of people would stop at, that's cool in LA, wish it was in Miami. And that's it.
Right.
You know, and you're actually like, I wish it was Miami. Let's bring it here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think anything's possible. It's just like, and we had no idea I had no idea who they were. Like it was like, let's see what the vibe is, like if this is the right fit. And they're so amazing to work with. They were super supportive of us bringing it here. Mm-hmm. And now I'm actually joining their corporate team to help them bring it to all the other cities.
That is so exciting.
Which is very exciting. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're still doing High Vibe Wellness like on your own, right? Over here.
High Vibes on my own. And then now I have a co-founder, and then we work super closely with the founders in LA. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like a license. So we work very closely with them. And then we also have like video editors for social. We have a big content team. Like there's a lot more support happening because it's just like we're hosting so many more people, over 1,000 people a month.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So how many people are expected to come on Saturday?
At least 500. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, because when we were saying Miami's such a small city, like it feels small, but then I'm like 500 people coming to one wellness event in one day, you know, like
so the tickets have been selling out. We had our fastest sellout was 500 tickets in 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Phone was blowing. I had no idea that this was going to happen. I mean, we launched the first event, I think sold out over a couple days. Then the next one was like 1 day, and then it was like 6 hours, and then it was 3 minutes. And I was like, what is happening?
That is so cool. Like it seriously like excites me so much for you because
Thank you.
That's incredible. Like I haven't seen anything like that honestly, like in any big cities, something that like brings that many people together for like something actually healthy, you know, like something
exactly.
good for you.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Because I think, like you said, Miami, there's no shortage of partying, but there is a shortage of like health and wellness stuff here. But so many people want it.
Yeah.
And LA, it's kind of like there's no shortage of anything. There's like a million health and wellness things. So maybe one of them isn't gonna be like super, super popular like it is here.
Right.
And I think it's the same in New York, where it just feels, again, like I was saying, it's like more cliquey there. So it's like, okay, if you live in Williamsburg, maybe there's like Williamsburg events going on that you go to. If you live in whatever, like the downtown, then there's those events that you go to. But I feel like it's not as like one event that everyone's at.
Yeah.
Which you've kind of created.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, we knew it was going to be successful. Like we saw the market fit. We saw the branding that they had done with Coffee and Chill in LA. And we were like, this is really good. But to see it grow this fast, it's only been 3 months. It sells out every time. We have crazy wait lists. Like we've done 0 paid advertising. It's all organic. It just shows what a need there was for this. And like people come and they're like, I've never seen this many people like having so much fun without drinking, like dancing and like just vibing. It's so fun. I can't wait for you to experience it.
I'm so excited. I'll film about it. I'll do a little like TikTok or reel about it too.
Yeah.
And I know that you always mention like without drinking and not like doing something that doesn't involve alcohol. When did you decide to stop drinking, and like what, if you want to share, like why was the reason that you stopped drinking?
So it's been about 2 years now. It was like a year after I moved to Miami. And I drank a lot in college, like we all did, but I think it kind of slowed down after COVID, and I wasn't really drinking a lot anyway. And I was feeling so sick from like a couple drinks, and I was just noticing like this is not good for my health. And I think as you enter adulthood, like post-college, you start to think more about your decisions. Like, is this leveling up my entire life? Is this aligned with like the highest version of myself? Is this really going to help me reach the goals that I have? And it was like, no, like this is not really like, it's just not good for me. And I'm a very sensitive person, like prone to anxiety, migraines, things like that. And it definitely doesn't help any of those things. So I stopped just because I was, doing the one pressure social drink in a lot of scenarios, feeling like I had to be drinking to avoid the questions or whatever. So silly. And I was just like, let me take a break for a couple months and like see how it goes. Like, see if I can go out and still have fun, see if I feel uncomfortable, see if I like not drinking. Yeah, never looked back. So here we are.
So I'm not like, I don't like not, I'm not someone that's like sober. Like it's like, I'll have a drink every now and then, but it was especially like last year and more so like after my breakup, I would say I wanted to like go out a lot more because it was like, okay, I want to meet people. I want to go out. So I was like drinking, I'm not kidding, like every weekend. It wasn't necessarily that much. Like it wasn't like, oh, I was going out like getting drunk every weekend, but like I was having drinks every single weekend. And I remember just feeling like so gross all the time. And like, I had such bad brain fog. My Sundays might have been ruined sometimes because I was like hungover or like I didn't want to work out or, you know, it just like wasn't good for me. Shocker.
Right.
And so during January of this year, I was like, okay, I'm going to do like dry January. I'm going to try to just like not drink. And I remember trying to do dry January last year and I like didn't do it because I was like, there was an event that I wanted to go to that I wanted to drink, whatever. And then I didn't drink from January all the way up until April. Like I did like 4 months. And now that reset like really made me like, now I like barely drink. Like I'll have a drink a few times, maybe a month, like maybe like once or twice a month, you know, and it's like 2 glasses of wine or a glass of wine. You know, it's not like anything crazy, but I feel so much better. Like now it's
I'm sure
I don't even like want to.
Right.
Like,
well, and you're a founder, like we can't afford to take days off because we had a couple of drinks. It's just like, that kills the momentum. And for me, like laying in bed on Sunday, it's just like, I don't want to be doing that. I mean, maybe I don't work on Sunday, but it's like I set myself up for the week. I like do my grocery shop. I take care of myself. And it's just like, I can't afford that anymore.
Yeah. How did you avoid, or how did you kind of get past, like you were saying, like people being like, why aren't you drinking? Or, you know, like you're not going to drink with us, you know, like those questions when you're in a social setting.
I think, honestly, if you're getting a lot of pressure, I mean, some people will ask, and there's like a right way, I think, to ask in like a more curious light of like, oh, like, I'm curious, like, what made you, like, you know, how we're talking here. If people are really pressuring you, I would encourage you to ask if they're really the kind of people you want to be spending time with. I definitely saw a huge shift in my friend group after I stopped drinking, and it just really pushed me to find friends that were more aligned with my core values. We spend the weekends going to yoga and getting brunch and like doing other things that don't always involve drinking. And a lot of my friends drink, but they're just very respectful of the fact that I choose not to, and they're not going to question me or pressure me. And those are the kind of friends that I want to have.
I was going to ask if you did see a shift in friendships.
For sure. Yeah.
I do think that there are some friends, they're your drinking friends. Like,
yes, 100%.
That's all you do. And it's kind of like, what do you do if you're not having, you know, a drink together? Like, do you actually have things in common?
Right. And like, why are they in your life? And like, how are you guys supporting each other in like the bigger vision? And I like, especially I think being a founder and an entrepreneur, like you want to be surrounding yourself with people that are like always trying to level up and like creating their life of their dreams. I think it's super important who you're spending time with. And if you're not with those people and you're with people that are pressuring you to drink, it's like, maybe you should reconsider the friend group, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And what is because I know obviously like we're both founders and you have like so much going on. Like I think event planning is like a whole beast. The fact that you do multiple events, it's like I literally have no idea how you do it, and you kill it every single time.
Thank you.
But what's like a typical day in your life? I know it's going to be different every day, but like what do you have systems like Mondays are for this, Tuesdays are for this, or like time batching or routines? Like walk me through kind of like your non-negotiables of what you do every day.
Oh, great question. I think it definitely changes, like you said, day to day. There's always like things like this or an event, and it's so nice to have the freedom to be able to say yes to those things in the middle of my day now. I would say I do time block my week. I do it on Sundays for the full Monday to Friday. So I kind of know what's coming up for the entire week. I only take calls 2 to 6. So I know that my peak flow state time is in the morning, and that will always be open for like deep work projects. I always do some kind of morning routine. Sometimes it's more extreme than others. I would say at least like really trying, not always perfect, to be off my phone for 30 minutes in the morning and like do something grounding, whether that's a little stretch, a walk, a meditation, journaling, something. usually one thing. I'm not someone who has like a 5-hour morning routine.
Yeah.
I try to get my workout in the morning. I go to hot yoga I try to do that early most days if I can.
What's your studio? It's Mimi, right? Or Mimi.
Mimi.
No, yeah, not Mimo. Mimi.
Mimi, yeah.
And you're an instructor there, right?
I'm an instructor. I don't teach there yet.
Okay.
Coming soon in the new location.
Hey, exciting.
Yeah. So I try to do my workout early because otherwise, I mean, the work will just flow forever and it's really hard to stop if I have a workout planned. So I'll just like end up canceling or putting it off. So I try to work out first, then I do my deep work projects, then I do any calls in the afternoon. And just time blocking is like so important. My day is planned pretty much to the 30 minutes every day. I have a little bit of a team and some people holding me accountable, but really it's like you against you. It's up to me to be productive and get it done. And most things I could probably put off if I wanted to. And it's so important that it's all scheduled or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So you schedule it out on Sundays? Like you go in and you like go on Google Calendar. What do you use?
So I use Notion and Google Calendar. Okay. So like I have all of like my meetings and my events in my calendar. And then I like have basically just like a note with like, here's Monday. And then like by the hour or 30-minute time block of like what's happening at what time.
Wow. Okay. So like yesterday, for example, what were some of like the deep work things that you have to do or whatever random day? Like what are some examples of those?
Like yesterday I actually just got a new intern. So I'm like getting her up to speed. So that was part of my day is like making sure that she has projects and she knows what's going on. I also am working on like basically the social media for Coffee and Chill Miami has gone really well in 3 months. And so we're trying to put like a full onboarding system onto like how to have the perfect social strategy for all the other cities so they can kind of emulate the type of content that we're creating. So I'm building out like a mini course on that for all of the other cities to follow.
So cool.
Yeah, so that's like an example of something like I need to sit down and focus and like think clearly. So I try to do that in the morning. And then my calls are usually like sponsorship calls. So I manage partnerships across all the Coffee and Chill locations. So it's a lot of pitching and like getting on sponsor calls and selling them on what we do and landing partnerships across all the cities.
You like seriously are like do it all. Like I'm like so impressed and inspired. Like
stop.
Yeah, no, I think that it's so cool what you do.
Thank you.
Especially just like being in Miami and seeing how many people go to these events and like how hard you've worked to like put these events together is like really, really cool to see.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there's a big misconception that like, you know, someone said to me the other day, like, oh, you work 2 days a month because you host 2 events a month. And I'm like,
who said that?
I'm just like, that's not the case, you know? And
how do you think got here?
I think if you've never hosted an event, you might just come and be like, oh, it's kind of free flowing. Like, you know, it just happened. And like, that's such a big misconception. There's so much that goes into every single detail of every event, not just the content and the social media and like the sponsorships, but like even like every place we put the sponsors at an event, like we're thinking about lines and flow and we have like a venue map and we're like, okay, if there's going to be a line here, how's that going to affect the flow for this? And like, people don't see all of the thought that goes into creating an intentionally designed experience, and they experience it and they have no idea that they're subconsciously experiencing something that's been in the works for months.
Yeah. And also like you have to be so detail oriented, like so detail oriented because every detail matters.
Right.
And even like you said, like the way that the line is gonna go, like everything matters. Oh my God, I can't believe someone said that to you because like I'm like, to me, event planning is like the hardest job in the world. Like I give you a lot of props.
That's because you hosted an event, so you know.
And I like barely did it. I was like, I
thought it was really well done. I had a great time.
Thank you. No, it turned out great, but like I definitely had so much help. Like I'm not a detail person, so I think that's why events are like really stressful for me because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to have to like decide on this like little thing, you know?
Right. There's a million like little things.
Yeah.
And I think some people are more detail oriented, so it comes a little bit more naturally, but I think there's like, a big misconception that you can kind of like throw together an event really quickly and like it's going to run smoothly. And that's just not the case.
Yeah. Okay. So before we go, can you share some of your maybe like top 5 places in Miami for anything health wellness related? It could be food. It could be yoga studios. It could be events, like anything at all.
Yes. Okay. So I love the Tierra Santa Healing House for the spa. If you want like a spa, like self-care day.
Where is that?
At Faena.
Oh, I've never been.
Okay. Their massages are divine.
Okay.
They have a massage where they put the sound bowls on your chakras. Oh my God. 10 out of 10. For workouts, I go to Mimi Yoga a lot. I love it there. Studio 3 just opened, and like I've only been to one class. I have another one booked this week, but like so far I really like
Ooh,
it.
I have some credits there, so
Okay, you should definitely check it
wanna
out.
Go. Okay.
They have like just 3 different rooms, lots going on. It's super premium. They have like Dyson hair dryers in the
Ooh,
bathroom. So it's like, okay. So I love mostly Mimi. Like that's where I am most of the time. For food, I mean, Ojo de Agua in Brickell is probably my favorite like
So
cafe. I feel like people don't know about it because there's only like one location, but it is so good. The acai bowl.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
really good and super cute too.
Super cute. And then for like if you want to go out at night for like healthy-ish, Planta is like my go-to.
So good.
I'm always there. I was there last night. So yeah, if you want like vegan sushi, that's my go-to for that. Was that 5? I feel like those.
Wait, you said spa, Mimi, Studio 3, and the restaurant. So yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I need to check out those places. I've checked out Planta, obviously, and then the what is it called?
Ojo de Agua in Brickell. Yeah.
That one I've tried. I need to try Studio 3.
Yes.
I need to like take more classes at Mimi. I've only gone like once or twice.
Okay. I just love the classes there.
Yeah.
It's a real community feel. And I think that's like why she's had so much success. Like you go and it's a social hour. Like I see all the same people and like it's such a, I mean, I did my training there too. So it definitely feels like home.
Yeah. I need to do that. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
You. Of course.
Where can they find you? Where can they buy tickets to your events? Like,
yes.
Where can people stay up to date with you?
Yes. So my personal Instagram is Lucelia Nelles, LuceliaNelles. Coffee and Chill Miami on Instagram. If you guys are in San Diego or LA, there's Coffee and Chill and Coffee and Chill SD for San Diego. And then High Vibe is spelled HI, vibe.wellness. And tickets drop after every Coffee and Chill is on the weekend. And then we drop them on Wednesday at 10 a.m. But if you follow us, you'll see like the countdowns and you can just jump when they drop.
You have to get it like the second it drops because it sells out in 3
minutes. So whoever can type the fastest.
That's insane. Okay, amazing. And this won't be up by the time I go, but I will be going this weekend. So maybe I'll see some people there.
Okay, amazing.